Look at verse 7, upon the 24th day of the 11th month. So now we're going down the road from the 8th month to the 11th month, so 3 months later, and he starts seeing these visions that Taylor already introduced. Multiple dreams, and they're all very symbolic, and they're all teaching lessons through these Old Testament symbolic means to this prophet in these dreams. Look at verse 17. Cry yet, saying, Thus saith the Lord of hosts, my cities through prosperity shall yet be spread abroad, and the Lord shall yet comfort Zion, and shall yet choose Jerusalem. Can you imagine what those words would have sounded like to the people at their time in this second year of the reign of Darius, as they've been working for months now on building the temple back up, and it's hard work, it's discouraging, and there's plenty of opposition in that process, as we had learned back in the books of Ezra and Nehemiah throughout that process of rebuilding Jerusalem. And yet the Lord is promising them that this is work that's actually going to last. It's going to prosper. And then you come down into chapter 2, and he lifted his eyes, and he beheld a man with a measuring line in his hand. So what we would call a measuring tape, so to speak. And he asks, what are you doing? And where are you going? And the man answers, to measure Jerusalem, to see what is the breadth thereof and what is the length thereof. Why? Because there's a promise of this gathering. And notice then angels come into this vision, this dream, and look at verse 4. And they said unto him, this angel, run, speak to this young man, saying, Jerusalem shall be inhabited as towns without walls, for the multitude of men and cattle therein. In other words, you can try to measure Jerusalem, but that measuring line in your hand, it's not going to do any good, because what is God going to perform here? Verse 5, for I, saith the Lord, will be unto her a wall of fire round about, and will be the glory in the midst of her. You're not going to be able to build walls around Jerusalem. It's going to be huge. We're going to be bringing people in from all over, and I will be the wall of Jerusalem. I will be around my people to protect them. And then verse 6, some have loved verse 6 because it's the Santa Claus verse in scriptures, right? Ho, ho, come forth and flee the land of the north. There's a different way to interpret this other than inserting Santa Claus into the Bible, by the way. This ho, this call for people, come forth and flee from the land of the north, saith the Lord. For I have spread you abroad as the four winds of the heaven, saith the Lord. So they were scattered up to the north, and now Zechariah 2, ho, come back from the land of the north. Come back home. Return home. And today in our world, we have many people who have been scattered in a variety of ways. Some of them literal, some of them symbolic. I love the scriptures and the message of the prophets. It's a call to gather back into the covenant and back into those covenant lands. It's the invitation to come home. It's time. It's time to come back home and reconnect with God, reconnect with the people, and work to build up Zion. It's a beautiful reminder for us today as much as it was relevant for them back then.